Chosen one, this moment did not arrive by chance, and this word was not released casually. This is not something meant to sit in the background of your night or blend into the noise of everything else competing for your attention. Heaven has been deliberate, precise, intentional. God has arranged this interruption because there is something you need to understand now, not later, not when life slows down, not when you feel more prepared. Tonight matters. And the reason it carries weight is because what comes next in your life is connected to what you discern in this moment. There are times when God speaks quietly, almost gently, allowing space for reflection. And then there are moments when He interrupts because delay would cost too much. This is one of those moments. You have sensed it already. A restlessness you couldn't explain, a subtle pressure in your spirit, a feeling that something is shifting even though nothing around you looks different yet. That is not imagination. That is awareness being activated. Heaven knows what is approaching, and God, in His mercy, refuses to let you walk forward uninformed. This word is not coming to frighten you. It is coming to position you. When God highlights timing, it is never rooted in panic. Urgency in the voice of God is not chaos, it is precision. It signals that a window is open, that a moment has arrived which carries implications for your clarity, your peace, and your direction. God does not rush His children, but He does awaken them. And tonight, He is awakening you. Throughout Scripture, urgency always appears before transition. Before movement, there is awareness. Before breakthrough, there is instruction. Before deliverance, there is discernment. God warned Noah long before the rain fell, not to alarm him, but to give him time to build. God confronted Pharaoh repeatedly before judgment, revealing that patience and responsibility walk together. Jesus warned Jerusalem with tears, not anger, because He saw consequences ahead that could have been avoided if the moment had been recognized. God speaks before He moves, because movement without readiness creates confusion, but movement with awareness creates alignment. That is why the Spirit keeps drawing your attention back. That is why you couldn't scroll past this without feeling something stir. It feels personal because it is. God does not speak vaguely to those carrying purpose. He speaks with precision because destiny requires accuracy. Jesus said His sheep know His voice, and that recognition happens in the spirit before the mind has words for it. Your spirit recognized truth before your thoughts could organize it, and that is why this feels weighty instead of entertaining. The heaviness you feel is not burden, it is significance. Weight rests on what matters, and this moment matters because you are standing closer to something than you realize. There is a decision approaching, a shift forming, a direction that will quietly shape the next season of your life. And heaven is making sure you are aware before distractions return and dull your sensitivity again. One of the most underestimated weapons used against people with purpose is delay. Not destruction, not chaos, delay. Because delay is subtle, it appears harmless. It doesn't look rebellious. It often sounds wise, responsible, even spiritual. I'll do it later. I'll wait until I feel more ready. I'll pray about it more. None of these statements sound wrong, yet repeated long enough, they quietly resist obedience. Delay gives the illusion that nothing is lost because nothing collapses immediately. Life keeps moving. Comfort remains intact. But momentum slowly fades, conviction dulls, and sensitivity weakens. Scripture warns us not to boast about tomorrow because tomorrow is not promised access. It is uncertainty. Delay does not always mean no, but not now can quietly become never. Patterns form without dramatic decisions ever being made, and direction shifts without alarm bells sounding. That is why God is speaking now. Not because you are far, but because you are close. And the closer you get to purpose, the more timing matters. God is not releasing information tonight. Information can be heard and ignored. He is releasing revelation. Revelation changes perception, and when perception changes, direction must follow. Revelation is light, and once light is given, ignorance is no longer innocence. God reveals not to overwhelm, but to protect, because exposure in His presence is far safer than discovery through consequence. There are patterns God is bringing into focus now. cycles that keep repeating, familiar loops that quietly drain energy and clarity. They are not coincidence. They are signals. There are connections in your life that feel comfortable, even familiar, but they are pulling more from you than they pour into your assignment. There are habits that seem small, not dramatic or obvious, yet they dull your spiritual sharpness over time. There are internal narratives that keep you contained, limiting courage and obedience even while God is calling you into expansion. Tonight, God is turning on the light, and when light comes, excuses lose their power. If you feel conviction, that is not condemnation. Condemnation pushes you away. Conviction draws you closer. If you feel pressure, it is not fear. Fear paralyzes. This pressure clarifies. If you feel urgency, it is not anxiety. Anxiety confuses. This urgency aligns. It calls your attention to what matters before distraction steals the moment. What you are sensing is alignment happening internally. Truth meeting readiness. Readiness meeting responsibility. Your spirit agreeing with what heaven is saying even if your circumstances haven't caught up yet. God is not saying you have failed. Failure is not his language with those he has chosen. He is saying you are needed, and awareness precedes usefulness. Correction is not rejection. It is proof of investment. This message carries weight because your life carries weight. God does not speak like this to what is insignificant. He speaks like this to what holds influence, purpose, and responsibility. You may feel ordinary in your daily routine, but ordinary vessels are not addressed with this level of care and precision. When a chosen one aligns with God, environments shift, doors open, atmospheres change. Heaven finds expression through obedience. Understand this clearly: timing in God is not about rushing. It is about alignment. God is not pushing you into anxiety or making you feel like you are racing against an invisible clock. He is pulling you out of complacency. There is a proper time for every matter, and the right action at the wrong time creates struggle, but the right action at the right time produces peace. You are not behind. You are not late. God does not measure your life by comparison. He measures it by obedience to his voice. You are not disqualified because you hesitated. Mercy makes room for realignment. God corrects because he intends to use. He speaks because he intends to move. He awakens because he intends to release. And right now he is asking for attention. Stillness, awareness. Be still and know that I am God. Still your distractions, still your excuses, still your fear, because clarity comes in stillness. Many will hear words like this and feel inspired. Chosen ones will hear it and shift, because once you see, you are responsible. Once you know, you cannot unknow. That is not pressure, it is purpose. God would not warn you if he did not intend to reward obedience. What is coming requires discernment, courage, and readiness, which is why this word came before the breakthrough. This message did not come to scare you. It came to strengthen you. You are not alone. You are not confused. You are not forgotten. You are closer than you think. Pay attention. Stay awake. God is moving. And when God moves, those who are aware step forward while others wonder how it happened. Tonight, you are not just listening. You are being prepared. And preparation is one of the greatest expressions of love heaven offers. Stay ready. Stay aware. Stay aligned. Because what God wanted you to know tonight is the key to what he is about to do next. Chosen one, now that awareness has been awakened, heaven is inviting you into something deeper than emotion or agreement. Awareness without response fades. Revelation without movement becomes frustration. That is why God does not stop at showing you what needs attention. He also empowers you to move forward with confidence, not fear. What you are sensing right now is not just recognition. It is invitation. God is drawing you closer, not demanding perfection, but asking for alignment. There is a moment every chosen one reaches where comfort and calling can no longer coexist. Not because comfort is evil, but because remaining comfortable eventually becomes costly when growth is required. You may not feel outwardly disobedient, yet inwardly you've known there is more. God has been asking of you. More attentiveness, more surrender, more courage to act on what he's already revealed. That inner tension is not condemnation. It is evidence that your spirit is outgrowing an old level. God is shifting your posture, from passive waiting to active listening, from delayed obedience to timely response, from surviving seasons to stewarding them. This is not about doing more for God, it is about becoming more responsive to God. Because obedience is not measured by intensity, but by accuracy. Many people are busy for God, yet disconnected from His timing. But you are being invited into precision, learning to move when He moves, pause when He pauses, and trust His instruction even when the full picture is not visible yet. One of the reasons this season feels quiet externally is because God is doing internal construction. Foundations are being strengthened. Discernment is being refined. Your sensitivity to His voice is being sharpened. Noise has been reduced not to isolate you, but to protect you. God often removes excess voices before He releases clearer direction, because confusion cannot coexist with clarity. Silence is not absence, it is preparation. You may have questioned why certain doors closed without explanation, why certain connections faded without conflict, why certain opportunities dissolved just as you were getting comfortable. But understand this, God is not punishing you by removing what cannot go where He is taking you. He is protecting what He has placed inside you. Not every open door is alignment. Not every familiar voice is assignment. Discernment is not suspicion, it is wisdom. This is a season where God is teaching you to recognize peace over pressure. His voice will never compete with chaos. It will cut through it. When God leads, there is a quiet authority that settles your spirit even when your circumstances remain uncertain. That is why you must guard what you allow to influence you now. What you consume, who you listen to, what you entertain, these things either sharpen your awareness or dull it. And in a season where timing matters, dullness is dangerous. God is also correcting your view of strength. Strength is not pushing through exhaustion. It is knowing when to rest and when to rise. Strength is not saying yes to everything. It is having the courage to say no when obedience requires it. You are learning that faith is not forcing outcomes, but trusting God's pace. Waiting is not wasting time when God has commanded it. And moving is not rebellion when God has released you. Some of the hesitation you've felt has not been fear of failure, but fear of responsibility. Because deep down, you know that once you move, things will change. Once you step forward, there is no returning to ignorance. But God is reassuring you that responsibility is not burden when carried with Him. He does not call you forward to abandon you. He calls you forward to walk with you. You are not stepping into this next phase alone. Heaven is already ahead of you. Grace has been prepared. Provision has been arranged. Favor has been positioned. What God initiates, He sustains. That is why you don't need to have everything figured out. Clarity often comes after obedience, not before it. Faith rarely waits for full understanding. It responds to divine prompting with trust. God is also healing your relationship with time. You have felt pressure when comparing your journey to others, wondering why certain things haven't happened yet, questioning whether you missed something. But comparison clouds calling. God's timeline for you is intentional, not delayed. What He is building in you requires depth, not speed. Acceleration without foundation collapses under pressure. And God values your longevity more than your applause. This is also a season of redefinition. God is redefining success for you. It is no longer about visibility, validation, or external confirmation. It is about alignment. Peace has become the metric. Obedience has become the measure. Faithfulness in small things is preparing you for influence in greater ones. God trusts you with little before He entrusts you with much, not because He doubts you, but because He is developing you. You are being taught how to steward moments, not just outcomes. How to listen deeply, how to move intentionally, how to remain humble even as confidence grows. God is shaping your character to match your calling, because gifts can open doors, but character keeps them open. What He is forming in you now will sustain you when the weight increases later. Do not underestimate the power of quiet obedience. Heaven sees what people overlook. God honors what others ignore. Every unseen yes matters. Every resisted distraction counts. Every moment you choose alignment over ease is being recorded, and what feels slow now is building momentum you cannot yet measure. God is also restoring your courage, not loud bravery, but steady confidence, the kind that doesn't need constant reassurance, the kind that moves even when fear whispers. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is obedience in its presence. And tonight, God is reminding you that you are capable of more than you've allowed yourself to believe. You are not stepping into confusion, you are stepping into clarity. Not chaos but order, not pressure but purpose. The next season will require discernment, but it will also bring peace. It will stretch you, but it will also strengthen you. It will ask more of you, but it will give more back than you expect. God is not asking you to strive, He is asking you to stay awake, to remain attentive, to keep your heart soft, to respond when He nudges, to trust when He redirects, to pause when He restrains. This is how alignment is maintained, not through perfection, but through sensitivity. Remember this: God does not reveal things to overwhelm you, He reveals them to partner with you. Revelation is an invitation into collaboration. Heaven moves through willing vessels, and willingness often begins with small, quiet decisions made consistently. You are not late. You are not behind. You are right where obedience can still shape outcomes. This moment still carries opportunity. And because you are listening, because you are responding, because you are staying present, you are positioned to move forward with confidence. God is not finished with you. He is not frustrated with you. He is not disappointed. He is invested. He is attentive. He is near. And He is leading you step by step, not all at once, but enough for today. So stay aware, stay responsive, stay aligned. Let peace guide you. Let clarity protect you. Let obedience anchor you. Because what God is doing next will make sense in time, even if it requires trust now. You are being prepared, not pressured. Positioned, not punished. Awakened, not accused. And as you move forward with humility and attentiveness, you will see that this moment was not heavy without reason, it was sacred. What God has begun, He will complete. What He has revealed, He will fulfill. And what He has prepared, He will release at the right time. Stay ready, stay faithful, stay listening, because heaven is moving, and you are part of what God is doing next.